What is going on, guys? Welcome to the van life build part 1. If you missed the announcement video, I bought a 2006 Dodge Sprinter, and the intention is we're going to outfit it as like a camper van slash paramotor hauler so that we can travel the country and make sweet paramotor videos in all kinds of cool locations. I got to give a shout out to the guys on Patreon. You guys are killing it. I super appreciate the support. If you guys haven't seen the Patreon page, it's linked down below. All right, so let's dive in. I'm going to show you guys what our goal is for today, and we'll get rolling. Our goal for today, I've decided we're getting rid of this bulkhead door thing because it's just gonna make life easier to not have it. Also, we're gonna rip out this floor, and then the goal after that is insulation. I'll talk about that more later. It's like a controversial topic of what sort of insulation to use, but for now, let's just start demolishing this thing. So status update, we pulled the floor out. There's like pop rivet holes everywhere, so we're probably gonna hit those with paint slash silicone to seal them up. I got that thing out, which took forever. So next we're just gonna keep scrubbing everything down. I'm gonna hit the rust spots with a grinder, and then we'll probably run to Home Depot or Lowe's to get some supplies. Last night we got all of the walls done up with Reflectix. Next up, I think we're gonna throw Reflectix on all the doors, and then we're going to start on the ceiling. I still have to source a ceiling fan vent doohickey. Then we'll move on to polyiso board on the walls. So I've come to realize one of the nice things about working on a 2006 van is if you chip some paint or like dent it or mess something up, it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter. Out. Let's see. Well, would you just look at that? Here it is. It's not too shabby. I'm gonna grab the skylight fan vent thing, stick it in there, see if it fits, and then we'll get to cutting some wood for the underside, drilling some holes. We'll stick that sticky stuff on. Should be a fun time. Alright, so now it's a new day. It got dark last night when I was working on the ceiling vent fan. It snowed overnight. I covered it with a tarp, but now we have snow and cold weather to contend with. But it looks really good. It's all screwed in place. I'm proud of it. In the meantime, I'm going to start taking measurements for where we're going to put the foam board stuff, the polyiso. Then we'll start freaking installing those with expanding foam. Alright, check it out. We left these overnight. There's only so many pieces we can glue at once because we're limited by the amount of supports and shower rods we have. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out, see how well they stuck, and then we'll get to gluing some more stuff on. Alright, check it out. We have been slaving away, working hard at this. What we decided before we start on the walls and before we start on the floor or the ceiling, we wanted to get this piece of wood for the bed frame installed. And the idea with this, instead of building like a traditional bed with legs down to the floor, we're basically creating a platform across the whole bed, or across the whole van. So from here down is going to be storage space, probably broken in half front to back, and then up top is going to be the mattress and more cabinet space on the side because the mattress doesn't take the full dimensions left to right. Alright, so the first line of work today is furring. Furring for the floors, walls, and ceiling. So what the furring is, basically, we have these like pine strips, and it's mounting points for the floor, ceiling, walls, and insulation is going to go in between the furring. So the floor is all done. I think I'm going to go up the walls to the ceiling with all the furring first. And then after that, we'll start with the insulation between the furring, and then it's just going to be sheeting everything up. So onto the walls. Behind me, I did all the furring on the floor, put the polyiso down in between, which was super easy and quick. Now what I'm doing is cutting the actual floorboard. I made a template out of polyiso foam down there and traced that onto the floorboard. So I'm cutting that out with a jigsaw, hoping my cuts are nice and accurate and this thing will just slip right in around the wheel wells. Once I get all that done, the floor is going to be in 3 pieces, front to back. For the front, I'm gonna probably do some sort of mat, like a rubber mat for the paramotor storage. The back doesn't matter because it's gonna be under the bed. This back piece fits like perfect. This front piece, you can see I have, I don't know, 3/8 inch gap right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim the front bit of the wheel well, and hopefully this board will slide in. It'll look real snazzy. Then all I gotta do is cut the back end, lay the last board in, and cut that one to length. Looking good. I think we'll have the floor in by the end of the day. All right, so here's the scoop. Today we finished the rest of the furring. I've got all of these polyiso boards cut nice and perfect for the walls. And I wasn't really thinking about doing it, but I think I'm gonna do a second layer of polyiso on the ceiling too, just because it's quick and easy and it'll just be more insulation. All right, status update for the night. It is officially Christmas. Early, like 1 a.m. and I just stepped on a tape measure. You see this? I am like feeling pretty proud of this work so far. This is like coming along so nice, and I'm happy with how this insulation is holding behind everything. Oh, check out this progress and that dramatic lighting. So we've been working all day, and we got all of the freaking walls done. They're donezo, ready to go. The ceiling is 2/3 of the way done. We've got one more piece to cut, and that guy will be done. We did the whole double layer of polyiso on both the walls and the ceiling. You can see maybe up here, there's a second layer. The good news is I've been running this little space heater, and it's like freaking 20 degrees outside, but it's actually warm in here. Like, it's gotta be, I don't know, 60, 70 degrees with this heater. So the insulation's working, it's doing something. Check it out! She is just about done as far as construction goes. We still have to pack stuff. I'm gonna do a montage of like everything once the bed is made, but look at this. I got the LED lights up, which is on a little secret switch over here. Pretty sick, I know. The fan is up. You can't really see it, but it looks real good. Freaking Sealy memory foam mattress here. Right now the floor is just bare. Eventually we'll put something else. All right, we probably got pretty horrible lighting in here, but I want to show you guys what our plan is for the cabinets right now. The other day I tested the fridge, ran it just off of the cigarette outlet, and I was actually really impressed. It didn't draw much power and it got down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, so rad refrigerator. As far as our cabinets go, there's 3 things I think we want to achieve. First, storage for clothing. Second, storage for non-refrigerated food. And third, just like miscellaneous stuff. First cabinet is done. Took a lot longer than expected, but I've got one more to build. You know, these things, I wasn't expecting much because they're like kind of cheapo cabinets relative to other stuff, but they're pretty decent. The quality is a-okay. I mean, they're white, so they kind of blend in with the white part of the van, but actually, where is it? That thing down there is like a countertop to span both of them. I think I'm gonna get rid of that because it's white also, and actually get like a piece of wood and stain it to match the walls and the ceiling. Speaking of stain, Jacqueline is outside in the van. We're in the midst of a snowstorm right now, but she's out there going ham, staining stuff, the walls and the ceiling and trim and stuff. So let's go out there and see what she's up to. The walls are, what is it called? Golden Pecan. And then for the ceiling and accents, we're doing Sedona Red. So the ceiling, and then these like door panels, and any other little bit of exposed wood, possibly trim, we're gonna do in Sedona Red. I'm hoping we can get an actual piece of wood instead of like the white piece there, and stain that red also, because that would be sick. The goal for tonight is going to be to get the 4 solar panels mounted on the ceiling. I have yet to even unbox them. They are right here. As I mentioned before, there's various ways to mount the solar panels. Double-sided sticky tape, screws and nuts. The manual recommends those expanding well nuts, which is what we spent hours last night running to every Home Depot. By the way, the reason I did that was because shipping time would be longer than just driving around to pick them up, and we're kind of on a time crunch, so I needed to do the fastest thing possible. We've got 5 hours tonight. Hopefully we can get it done. That's what 400 watts of solar looks like. I'm pretty freaking proud of it. It looks really nice. I was worried about like alignment and everything and measuring perfectly, but it all came out really, really well, so I'm super happy with it. All right, I just went full on Bob the Builder productivity mode for like the last 3 hours, crammed under this bed. But I think I have everything ready to go, and we are about ready to connect all the wires for the first time and see if this stuff powers on and it all actually works, or if it lets out a white smoke and we're doomed for this trip. So first, before we do that, I want to show you guys around of what I've done, all the little details, and then we'll plug her in and see what happens. Along the side here, climb up on this ladder. So I just did some cable management down the side of the panels. I used the commander hooks, they call them. These little guys, sticky tabs along with zip ties to secure everything. Here we have a 10 amp fuse. They go around to more of these hook guys, and then this here is hopefully my watertight box. Now we come down inside the van. That's where the lines come through with the hole in the ceiling. Sneakily they come around here through the wall, and then they follow this down. Bam! Check out that cable management up to the front and soon into our charge controller. Before we go underneath and look at all that stuff, up here, this is the, I forget what they call it, the controller unit for the charge controller. That will reside right above the countertop. Alright, so now under the bed, this is what we've got. Here is the giant 200 amp hour battery. I put this wood bumper stop in the front, so hopefully it doesn't plow down our cabinet. I just use these, like, I don't know, D-ring hooks and a ratchet strap with a piece of carpet to put pressure down on it. You know, it's not the prettiest, but I think it's functional. I think it'll hold this 70-pound beast. Alright, so up here is the charge controller. My wires are sketchily hanging, waiting for me to plug them in. We have a 100 amp fuse going to the inverter, and that sits here with 4 outlets and a USB port. Check out that cable management action. So here we go. First step is going to be boom boom, and then we'll do the solar. Let's jam that and jam that. Oh man, I'm scared. Holy shit. Alright, we got a light on the charge controller. No smoke and fire yet. So far so good. Charge controller has a green light, which I'm assuming is good. Boom! We got a smiley face. We got 12.9 volts. So far so good. Nothing's blown up. This doesn't feel hot. That doesn't feel hot. Let's go ahead and plug in the second line for our solar. Green light. Oh yeah. Things are happening. Yeah, buddy. 2 green lights. I assume that's good. Still, I don't freaking know. Nothing's hot. Sick. We have 18.5 volts now from our solar. Freaking, I don't know what any of this means, but I think it's good. Alright, let's do a test. I've got this giant light, which probably pulls a lot of power. Let's flip this guy on, inverter. Let's plug this light in. Damn! Freaking battery power inverter is powering our light. Ew! So I guess we can officially say we have working solar in the van. I mean, nothing's blown up. We're powering a light. I don't want to run that for too long. I've got a lot of learning to do on this stuff still. Then just experiment with it and see what happens. So I'm about to hook up everything to the battery, and we'll do the first true test live. Alright, lights are turned off for dramatic effect. Everything's put back together. I think we're clear to go. All I have to do is flick this switch, and hopefully all 6 of these lights will turn on. Alright, let's do her. Woo! That's beautiful. Check it out. Yes, that looks so professional. Final check. I should be able to flip this switch and the fan will go on. Oh, I love when things work. Freaking neat are these lights, right? So in the Return of the Van build series video, I think the most popular comment was everyone was like, that's a freezer, not a fridge. All your shit's gonna freeze. It's adjustable from -15 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So in reality, it can do both. Aside from that, you guys had a lot of good suggestions. A lot of people said to mount this guy on sliders, like a drawer slider, which I think is a great idea, but we don't have to do that right now. It's accessible enough. We could fit a gallon of milk in there if we had to, but for now, I'm just gonna ratchet strap it down similar to how I did the battery. All right, I'm about to connect the fridge, and I originally thought that the fridge would just get connected straight to the 12-volt battery, but the charge controller right here has this load port, and I guess the load port is for things that are always on. Basically, it'll bypass the battery, and the power will go straight from the charge controller to the fridge, which is better for the life of the battery. Right, Jess? Fridge seems to be working. You can adjust this guy to any temperature you want. All right, so my refrigerator test last night, I would say was inconclusive because the ambient temperature got down to like 30 something degrees. Currently, we're sitting at 13 volts. It's nighttime, which is normal, and the fridge is sitting at like 30 something degrees. So we'll see. Over here on the countertop, I got our sink mounted. As you saw, I had a liquid nails failure. I don't know if it was just too cold or I got the wrong stuff, but it didn't cure in time, and the bit that cured didn't stick at all to these materials. So I had to go ahead and screw it in, which kind of looks like a submarine, but it's whatever. Special thanks to some of you guys for pointing out I ordered the wrong size fuse, so I went ahead and ordered some next day shipping 200 amp fuses for a 2000 watt inverter. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that should give me full potential and be what I need according to Renogy now that I double checked. Yep, she works. Plug her in. All right, moment of truth. Not too shabby. Jacqueline, give me a summary of your thoughts of how the Sprinter van project turned out.
It looks perfect. Everything about it is perfect.
I have to give a huge thank you to all the guys on Patreon. You guys seriously enabled a lot of this to happen through your support, so huge thank you to you guys. The link for that is down in the description if you want to become a Patreon patron. We're gonna roll out tomorrow morning. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and we will see you guys tomorrow when the adventure begins.